Welcome to another episode. I'm your host, Alexis Jimenez, and today I have the honor speaking with a true veteran of real estate in one of the most competitive markets in the world. So let me introduce you to Alfie McFadden. He's the founder and CEO of McFadden and Associates with over 20 years of experience selling properties in Los Angeles and Orange County. But Alfie isn't just another real estate agent. He's an entrepreneur who built his own brokerage and dedicated athlete with over 8 years of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu training, and a man of faith who integrates his values into every aspect of his business. What makes Alfie's story unique is how he's navigated on one of the most expensive and volatile real estate markets in the country, closing deals from $400,000 to 1.5 million while maintaining a philosophy of service based on integrity and excellence. Today, we're diving deep into his journey from agent to agency owner, his strategies for thriving in the ultra competitive California market, and how he's built lasting wealth through real estate entrepreneurship. So let's get started.
So tell me
Yes.
what you do.
So I do well, I have done a lot, man, but right now I'm focusing on the in co-living.
Okay.
Well, basically that's my Mount Everest. However,
Mm,
sometimes we get good deals on a side. For example, I'm working right now on two midterm rentals that I never plan to buy them on purpose, let's say. Just the
mhm.
wholesaler sent both to me, and I underwrote them, and I was like, wow, these are good deals, so I'm gonna buy them, and I'll buy them. But
Nice.
these are deals that come in not on purpose. Let's say I'm not intentionally from
Yeah,
my
yeah.
end, and but I'm focusing on co-living. And what
Okay.
about you, man?
Um, so I've been a real estate broker for 20 years now. So all my main thing has been in resale. Um, and obviously after getting in creative, we started getting into well, number one, we're in California, right? So it's hard to
Yeah,
uh, cash flow with anything unless you put a very substantial down payment or something, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So now we pivoted and basically we put my wife and myself are both our superpowers. So my superpower is basically in real estate, right? Getting creative and buying, investing. My wife, on the other hand, is she's in healthcare. She's a nurse, worked for Kaiser for many years. So we kind of thought, we prayed for it. Like, why don't we put our backgrounds together? And so and that's what we did, and what we are doing, which is doing residential facility for seniors.
Mm.
So now we can purchase properties here in California, not worry about the cash flow, because now once we install the business using that model, then we can cash flow on just about any property. So that's where we are at the moment.
Interesting. So I was reading your information, and I noticed that you have seen multiple market cycles. You've been in the business for more than 20 years, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
man, so walk me through your journey from your first deal to founding your business, your current business, because 20 years, man, you navigated through the 2008.
Yeah, we definitely went through, a couple of different cycles now,
Mm.
and that tells you my age, right? um,
No, and I'm asking because I started the business in 2012, so I saw the 2008 market, but not directly. I mean, indirectly,
mhm,
and
mhm.
so I didn't feel that I never hit me. But 10 years passed by, and now I feel that we are in a different cycle, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, during that time, oh 06, 7, 8 time frame, that's the market where I got strong, because I've learned a lot. You had to really hustle, you had to pull through, you got to double, triple your numbers just to get the same thing, you know. So it was definitely difficult, but it made me stronger as an agent, as an individual, as a sales and investor. Because at that time there was one point where I got very aggressive. At least in my eyes, I was aggressive in purchasing properties, and all my purchases back then was all long term. It's like I purchase, rental, that's it. It was very boring, but yet it worked for me, right? It's just kind of buy and hold. Um, and obviously, and then the crash comes in. Half my tenants are no longer paying, they lost their jobs, so it was hard for me to recover. I still had the mindset of, okay, I'm still looking at this long term, I'm going to continue to pay everything. So I went through hardship because 6 months, a year later, I'm still paying for these people that are still in the properties not paying me, and I'm still paying a mortgage. And I was just like, upside over my head. I'm like, what am I gonna do? So, but like I said, that challenge itself made me a much stronger, person, a better business person as well.
Yeah. So, and something that happened to me in 2017, I lost everything. I'm from Puerto Rico originally, and when the Hurricane Maria wiped out the island, basically I lost everything in 24 hours.
Mm,
So then when COVID hit, I felt so confident and so
mm,
strong. So I'm
mm.
wondering if you went through that as well. So 2008, the market crashed, then COVID hit. So how you feel in this environment? Do you feel? I mean, you already mentioned it, right? So you feel stronger, but what's your mindset through the cycle that we're living in?
Yeah, I mean, no matter what you go through, let's say you go through some traumatic experience in the past, right? And it's so bad that anything beyond or above that, it's like, even though it's hard, it's like, what is this? This is nothing, right? um Although there comes a point where you start to get complacent. It's like, I've done this, I've done that, and then you get complacent. Then you got to expose yourself to someone that's doing bigger, better, things, and next thing you know, it's like, okay, I need to up my game, and then you start doing uh better, right? um but I always come back to, let's say, like working out. There comes a point where you're gonna feel the hurt, and the fact that you're feeling that hurt means you're growing, right? And when you're not feeling that hurt, that means you're either stabilizing or just maintaining, right? So I almost take in some of the challenges as a positive thing, right? It's like, okay, I change the script in my mind. It's like, okay, if something challenges coming in, it's like, okay, I like this. I'm growing, right? Now, I think it's harder though to s- have that same mindset with the people that surrounding you, because I could tell myself that I can do it, and but the thing is, the people, including the people that you love, right? As much as they want to, they have a different, or they're not maybe as prepared as you are, right? And so it's easier said than done. You can tell them, but it's different when they actually own it. Does that make sense?
100%, man, and it happened all the time. I think that is the same story in everybody out there. There's always a family member that is the person or the couple, depending, right, that succeed. And but I hear this story so often. It's interesting, man. But that's the reality.
Yeah, yeah.
So you always been in LA? I mean, doing the business in LA, right?
Yeah, so we're in LA and Orange County. We're in Cerritos, which is smack in the middle of LA and Orange County. So we basically cross the street. We're in Orange County, and then we go here as LA County. So we service both areas.
So you are operating in one of the most expensive markets in the country. So what strategies have you developed to help clients build wealth in such a high barrier market?
I think it's one of those things where, if I'm gonna go give you an example, back in high school, right? I went to Jordan High School, which is not really, a top rated school per se, right? So at the time, there's a lot of gangs, there's a lot of fights, there's a lot of things that happen in that school. Um, but that's where I went. Well, at the time when I was there, it was a normal environment for me, right? And so I didn't know I was in a bad school until I wasn't, until I'm outside of it. So I
So
think
for you, it was normal. It was part
it
of
was
the life.
normal. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
normal. So now I get enticed because of other markets to where it's like, oh my God, you can get that kind of a house for little, for a smaller amount. I'm like, oh my God, that's so amazing. But but yeah, you know, uh, you just kind of, it's our normal. So I don't have anything else that's kind of um I always think about it, it's like, okay, if we move and we can, but I think about it this way, it's like, okay, what's most important? Okay, living the lifestyle or family? Well, I can't take all my family, my siblings, my parents. Maybe I can, but at the moment, not everyone's on the same boat, like wanting to make that move. So it's hard when all the family is here.
So yeah, so you build a brokerage firm.
Yeah, so in the beginning, okay. So when I first started, I was actually in engineering, and that was my career. I was in that for 8 years, working for Rockwell Semiconductor, which turned to Connexent Semiconductors, um, and that was my career. And I was in my early 20s at that time, and I was single at that time. I was like maybe 22 or so. Um, and then fast forward many years later. Well, let's go. I was working in Newport Beach as in engineering, right? And during the tech bubble, early 2000s, they started laying off people. So I was one of those. Well, instead of laying me off, they actually transferred me to their sister company in Newberry Park, which is in Ventura County. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours away, right? And so at the time, I didn't mind because I was single. I would stay there for the week that I'm working, and then half the week I would come home and on my days off. So that was okay a few years being single. But fast forward, um, as I get closer to my maybe 28, 29, 30s, I'm now married. Right, I'm now married, expecting my first child to come. We're pregnant at that time, and I was like, there's no way I want to be gone half the week and only be home for the other half, right? There's just not going to happen. So that was kind of like my tipping point as to how I got into real estate. Okay. And so, no matter how great of a salary I was making at the time, I was like, I just want to be home every day with the family. That was my biggest why, right? And so that was my tipping point, and that's when I really seriously thought about it. So, okay, I'm going to put a plan together on getting out. Now, my mom, thank goodness, she was in real estate for a couple of decades at that time, at that point. And so I spoke with her, and we collaborated. And she said, "Why don't you get your broker's license, and then we'll just put up our broker company." And so that was my way. That was my way into real estate. I'm like, yes, this is it. And what's scary was, um, here we are pregnant, right? There's a lot of expenses, and I was the only one working at that time. So everything was on me. And I quit cold turkey, my salary, my safe job, right? And replace it with a commission, which is in real estate. No insurance, nothing. So I gave myself no way out. I had to make this work. Otherwise, we're gonna suffer. The family's gonna suffer. I'm not gonna see you know what I mean. So, anyways, I gave myself no out, and sure enough, if you put yourself in the against the wall and there's no way out, you'll find a way, which we did.
I always feel that's one of the best pressure that we are in, right? Because that it's move on no matter what. So forget about the past, forget about the distractions. It just move forward, push forward. You have to
Yeah,
make it no matter what.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's it. Yeah. And we all have that, right? If we live
all that.
long
Yeah,
enough, there's some kind of challenge, pressure,
yes,
that goes up against you, and then you find a way.
yes, 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 yes. Man, you have seen thousands of transactions. So what are the biggest wealth building mistakes you see investors make in expensive markets like yours?
I think it's really the simple things, and that's just not starting, right? People overthink it. What can I do? What should I do? And next thing you know, 2 years pass by, 5 years pass by, 10 years, and next thing you know, they're looking back like I should have done this, I should have done that. Well, do what you can at the moment, whatever that may be. It could be it may not even be real estate right away. It could be something very small. Invest in yourself, invest in knowledge, how you can do it, or invest in the network of people that may be able to help you. Invest something in progression, right? I think it's just the simple thing, because wealth building is really, it's not hard if you do it slow and you have a long horizon. But when you're trying to build wealth in 1 week or 2 weeks, then that's where the problem becomes. If you're just like, I can't do it. There's too much pressure, and it's just not. But if you got 10 years to work on this, it becomes fun. It's like, okay, good. I'm making progress. I'm doing this. I finally got that. 10 years later, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I've accomplished what I've accomplished in that time. Right now, what's the next 10 years going to be? So I
Yeah,
think
you
it's
know that
those.
10 years ago, so I had well, no, it wasn't 10 years ago. I mean, it was a year ago. I had man, I would say it's a revelation that, like 12 years, when I started the business in 2012, I bought a house in Tampa for 46 grand and I put only 6 grand on rehab. So I sold it then for 75, which is, it's okay. I made maybe 15, $20,000, which is fine. But the other day, I was like just curious, let me go back and to see how much this property was sold last time that the seller sold it. And it was sold last year and they sold it for 350. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
So let me see two more addresses.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then when I
yeah.
went through those two addresses, I was like, oh my God, just these three properties that I sold 10 years ago, I would make just in equity $1 million. So I can imagine the amount of equity that I have not, I would say, lost, in the last 10 years
Mhm.
if I wouldn't keeping these properties on my portfolio, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That reminds me of my first condo. I was um I was actually 22 years old. I bought my first condo. And that condo was 50,000 bucks, and I was scared. I'm like, can I do this? And so it was incredible. But looking back, I'm like, oh my God, that 50 grand is, and it's like 3 blocks from the beach, right? There's just no way I could even get a nice car for 50 grand here today, So it's crazy.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, and that was a lesson. It doesn't matter the economy situation that we're in. Real estate is going to increase in value, over time.
Yep, yep. And that's a great example. That condo went through all the 2008, 2009, and now we're here 2025, right? So
Yes,
yeah, it's
yes,
crazy.
yeah. So have you seen interest from your clients in alternative real estate investment? Like, for example, co-living. Co-living is a trend. Everybody wants to go do co-living right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe affordable housing or institutional grade or multifamily. What's the trend that you see on the people that you're serving?
Yeah, so the people that are coming in, um, Well, I'll give you an example. One of the guys that I use for doing rehabs and so forth, um, he's actually doing it for himself. He's changed. He's looking at a single family home and turning it into a 8 unit apartment, kind of like a mini micro apartment. So basically, he's looking at um, the layout of the property to where he can line up all the bathrooms, that each individual one will have their own. So it becomes an individual studio now, and they all have their entrance from the outside. So there's no common areas that everyone has to go through. Everyone has their own entrance from the outside, and just before the entrance, they make a little patio. And he makes all his properties the same. So he looks at the layout, you know what I mean, and then he builds it as spec, and it's amazing. And he is cash flowing like crazy in today's market.
Wow. But this is an idea that he saw maybe in another investor, or he just came up with the idea.
He came up with the idea a long time ago, before even this fad of co-living became. He's been doing this for many years already, but he's able to improve upon it, and got better. And the fact that he's a contractor, he kind of knows what to look for, especially when trying to rebuild something, with less amount of work and less destruction and so forth, and yet get the same outcome that he was looking for. I mean, yeah, I looked at his property. It's actually pretty amazing. Everyone has their own space. It's almost like a one bedroom or one studio, own entrance with their own personal patio. It's amazing, how people, that, and I think that's our power as human beings. Our creativeness is what actually will make us the money, right? How creative we get.
Interesting, man. So Your you work with high net worth clients, right? So what do you typically tell them when they are looking for like long-term investments? And I'm asking this because I have seen so many people that, especially in the California market, that's a great market to do fix and flip. And I see people, making some decent money, in each flip that they're working on.
Mhm,
um,
mhm.
but of course, I see like maybe high net worth people, they are maybe business owners, maybe they are doctors, engineers, or high W-2 high income earners. So, right. So these type of people, they're looking to make money on short term or the long term. So what's the typical trend that you see on them?
Yeah, yeah, good question. And some of the high income earners, like doctors and some of these nurses and NPs, lawyers, right? They have the money, but they just don't have the time to do anything else above what they're specialized in, right? And so they want to be able to invest and put their money somewhere they can see growth, right? And typically for some of these, they're a little bit more. They don't want super high risk. They just want to make sure that, hey, they may be okay with 8, 10, 12% growth, right? Um, but more of the entrepreneur people are the ones that are looking for, hey, I want to see value add. I want to be able to turn this, maybe get a single family property on, R2, R3 zoning, right? To where they can just take that out and build, a couple of units in the same lot. And that's where they build on and do value add. But that's a different mindset. These are more entrepreneur mindset people. That's like, okay, let's take this on. The high income earners, they just want to see growth. At least that's from my conversation with them. And so we'll put them in properties, units, to where there's enough units that covers everything, and they see a systematic growth. And a lot of them, it's really more for the tax benefit, you know, because they're making the money already. They just want to see incremental growth, and maybe even see not paying the taxes that they pay, because they're high income earners, right? So even just buying a property as an investment property will offset their income is enough in most cases. You know.
Do you think that besides the well, let's do you think that the business owners they want money fast because they are accustomed to make money fast in businesses?
um Now it depends on the business. There are some businesses owner or business owners that where it's like, and I think it comes down to mindset as well, right? Because I mean, if you're a business owner and then your business is not doing well, maybe your mindset is like, it's hard right now. The environment's hard. I can't make money. I can't. Well, people make money regardless whether the market's up or down, right? It's just our mindset, how we look at it, and now how we can pivot to where we can help more people, we can bring value, even on a down market, a flat market, or on an up market. So yeah, I think it's really dependent on the owner or the business and his mindset.
Yeah, so I guess that the high income earners, as you said, they're making money today. They don't need like maybe money right now. Maybe they are just looking for a long term horizon, and at the same
Hmm.
time get the tax benefit as
Right.
well,
Yeah.
which is very
Yeah.
common in that environment, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So you're running your brokerage and you are doing deals by yourself as well, right? So what type of deals are you doing by yourself? Are you consider yourself like a short-term investor, like you're doing fix and flip, wholesaling, or you are looking for long-term investment as well, and why?
Yeah. Yeah. Good question. So, I mean, I'm still doing resale, and actually, our brokerage, we stopped our brokerage years ago, maybe during the crash, and that was because it was actually harder to motivate agents, right, to do deals when their mindset is so down. It's like, I need a W-2, I need income now, I can't do what you do, and so we left that and put my license under. At this point, we're at Keller Williams, at a brokerage. So that way, there's no more, you know, liability. I don't have to worry about it. Basically, put it that way, and I don't have to motivate other people that don't want to be motivated. So with that said, a lot of the deals I see is from day-to-day prospecting, talking to people that are sellers and people that need help. And so I interject myself. I make my offers there. If it doesn't pan out, then we'll help them list the property so that they can get more money. So sometimes um, sellers, they like the convenience of, like, I don't want to show my property. I want to sell it as is because I'm a very private person, or I am hoarding all this. I can't, there's no way I can get out in time. So it's really dependent on the seller, and we tailor our services based on their needs. Yeah, we can get you off, but just know that you're not going to get as much as you can by doing this, because we're buying this for your convenience. We'll take all this away from you, your headaches, or we can put it in the open market. But these are the steps that needs to get done, and so we leave it up to them, right? But yeah, most of my investments are long term, and I've been, dabbling with, I got with the RV park in Montana with Pace, so that was fun. Um,
How
with
do you get
ownership.
that deal?
Was that?
How do you get that deal?
Well, that was through Pace. That was all. That was all his. I
Also,
guess
so you invested with him. It
with
wasn't
him.
that you
Yeah,
put
yeah,
it. Okay, I thought that
yeah,
you were the contract holder.
yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I'm vested with him, and it was cool because I mean he just kind of shows the rope as to it. So I just want to get into something to where, let's say, I'm not as familiar, and the best way to get familiar is just to get in it. You know, I know along the way we're gonna stumble, and but we just got to pick ourselves back up. So doing simple things like this, like putting an ice machine right? That would generate 50, 60, 100 grand more a year. It's like, oh my God, that's like no brainer. What the heck?
Yeah, of course.
You
Yeah.
know?
And with a great operator, right? Which is,
Yeah.
we were thought, and I am 100% agree with that. We were taught that the hack and in this business, especially if you are starting out, is to invest with other operator that has the experience already, right? Because you will invest, you get returns, and at the same time you learn along the way.
Yep. 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 Exactly. Exactly it. Yeah, and there's some great minds in Owners Club, right? So
Yes.
being able to tap in with you, with I mean, with the past meeting that we just had in Monterey, were you there? You're in Monterey, right?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah. Um, I mean, I met some great people. As many as I try to network during those meetings, it feels like I don't know. There's still a lot of people I don't know. It's like, oh
I
my
know
gosh,
it.
there's a lot
It
of people.
happened to me, man.
Yeah,
It happened
yeah,
to
it's
me all
amazing.
the time. It's like, oh my God, there's so many people. There's no way that in just one event you can meet them all.
Right, right. Yeah, especially having real relationship that you're trying to nurture.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some amazing people there, and I'm so glad for Pace for putting these groups, these things together, because um, without it, you know, uh, it basically jumpstarts, all of us into that next level.
Yes. And one of the things that I like the most is that these are like-minded people, generally speaking. So I love it.
Hmm. Hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Did you have a favorite from our last meeting in terms of people you met, like
Uh,
wowed you in terms of their business?
oh yeah, always, man. It always happened. It happened not only in Monterey, but also in what was the last time that we? Oh, it was in
Arizona?
Squatta, but no, before that,
Awesome.
it was man, I forgot when were the last time that
Scottsdale.
we met.
Was it
Scottsdale.
Scottsdale?
Yeah, yeah,
Scottsdale. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Amazing.
So man, so you tell me about you're a man of faith and values. So you're open about your faith, driving your business decisions. So how do you integrate those values into real estate transactions, especially in competitive binding situations?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I mean, I guide my day with the Bible. Okay, it's a living word, and so I start my day off with that, and prayers, obviously, and I journal, like all my moves, all the purchases. I try and filter it through the word first. Um, and obviously with integrity, right? Am I dealing with people that need help, or basically I'm trying to see how there's two things, right? One is how can I help someone else, bring them up, and second, who can help me get to where they are, right? So that there's always that level, and it's not just who can help me still get where I am. It's two sides of the coin. It's like who can help me and who can I help. So that way we're not only being brought, but we're also bringing someone else along with us. And so when I look at deals, who is benefiting here? Is it just me or who else, right? If the who else part is in line with with our faith, then it's a go, right? So I always use it as a filter, and as a guidance, and it has helped me tremendously. And typically, for most of us, um, we don't get into the faith until we're backed up against the wall, right? Because we're always
Mm.
looking into ourselves, right? Like, okay, I'm smart enough, I can do this, I can get out of this, I could work my way through it. um, and yet we don't realize that, hey, once we're backed into the wall where we've done everything we can and we're still, that's when we end up praying like, okay, Lord, now I need your help, right? um, well, enough of those times will let us know, like, hey, you know what? It's not just those hard times; it's on the everyday scenario that he wants us to lean on him, right? And so that's how I kind of live, and I find that my guide, me being guided, has helped me get away from all the things that I could have done wrong, right? Badly.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Because not many people are doing that, and I have seen even people in the industry. They are people of faith, but sometimes they try to separate business and faith like into different paths, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I see,
Yeah.
I see that you're based on what you're saying is that you integrate both.
Yeah. Yeah. I try and integrate both, right? Um, and I say try because I'm human being. There are times ego goes here, ego. I just got to get myself back in. It's like, okay, I'm sorry, forgive me, da da da, whatever, right? And you reset. And as long as I have a north star to where I know this is the right direction, then at least even though if I come across in different paths, I can pull myself back in, knowing that I have a north star to go to.
Interesting. So how do you see, the market shifted a couple of years ago, but every city is so different across the country, across the nation. So how do you see LA overall, Orange County, that area, that market heading to? And do you feel that the somehow the market is being affected, or is in a neutral position, is bullish, is bearish? How you feel the market in that area of the country?
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna go with data, right? So, and then you, the audience, can look at that data and say, okay, it is what it is, right? So
Mm-hmm.
right now, in the last few months, we've actually seen inventory continue to rise, right? So as
Mm.
inventory starts to rise up, in fact, here in Orange County, we had over 5,000 active properties for sale, which we haven't seen since 2019. So we definitely seen this increase of inventory while the demand, right, remains pretty flat. So as you can see, as demand continues to be flat, but then inventory continues to rise, days on market all of a sudden starts to rise. It takes longer now because now buyers have more choice to look at these properties and say, okay, I no longer need to come out 100 grand above asking price. I have choices now, right? So now we're seeing these days on market before they end up going on the contract to go up. And right now we're roughly just under 3 months, right? Um, Meaning it'll, on average, it'll take about 3 months to sell a property, which is somewhat in the neutral, between 3 to 4 months of days on market. That's probably a neutral state, right? Whereas before we're seeing it's still a seller's market to where getting multiple offers. But don't get me wrong, the ones that are priced correctly in this market will still get multiple offers. We're talking about the overall inventory.
So having said that, so if you were to diversify beyond California real estate, what markets or investment strategy will you be interested in?
Well, I'm definitely interested in RV parks, and so I'm looking at the Sunbelt
That's why you
states.
invested with Pace.
Yeah, 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 totally. Because I like to do things that I get excited about, right? And that I
Yeah.
like to do. I'm an outdoor person. I like to do things outdoors. We like to go camping, so it kind of fits in my wheelbox as to what I like to do. And that's why we put together, me and my wife. We're putting the senior care facility, right? Because we prayed about that. And that's the reason why I have my background in real estate. She has her background in that. Say, hey, you know what? Let's put it together and help more people in this scenario. Our parents are getting older, so we also have to look at that. We want to be able to take care of them, her parents and my parents, as we get older, as they get older. And so this is a way for us to be able to not only have a business, but also to be able to give back. Because that's all our skills are used for someone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's used to help other people. Now I'm hoping other people will do the same because their skills is helping us, right? So we're all like in this together, and if we don't end up using our skills, then we're leaving behind that other people that we should have helped, but we're not if we're not using the skill set that we have. So yeah.
Wow, yeah. So definitely skill sets is something that we have to develop over time, right? And
Yeah.
being intentionally, because I know that people, you see this very often. People are living the life with the flow, but not with intention, right?
Yeah. 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 Yep. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So Alfie, this has been absolutely incredible, man. So our listeners just got insights from someone who's not only survived but thrived through multiple market cycle. Especially, me, because as I said, I started the business in 2012. I saw what happened in 2008, but I didn't. I don't feel that I live it like directly, right? It was like I was watching the news. I was watching, other people losing stuff, but I
Mm.
never went through that. But someone like you, being 20 years in the business, you have seen so many cycles, so many things. So, and also I have to say, man, your approach to integrating faith and business excellence really resonates with me.
Mm.
That's the kind of a holistic approach that creates sustainable success. And I feel that, I mean, everybody has their own way to see things, right? But me personally, I believe in God as well. And me personally, I want to integrate God in my business decision every day. So
Mhm. Mhm.
thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Thank
how
you.
the audience can connect with you?
Well, all my social media is just my name, Alfie McFadden. So if you at Alfie McFadden, you'll see me Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, but I'm mainly on Instagram and Facebook.
So it's
But
easier to connect with you on Instagram. Well, on Facebook as well, right?
Facebook is probably where I'm there most. As you can tell, for my age, most of us are in Facebook.
Yeah, it happened to me when I'm using Facebook more than Instagram.
Oh man.
So, everyone listening, if office stories inspire you, drop a comment and let us know what resonated the most. And if you are in the LA or Orange County area looking to buy, sell, or invest, clearly you need to connect with Office. Thank you for joining us today. Keep building, keep investing, and remember, whether you are in an expensive market like LA or anywhere else, there are always opportunities for those who know where to look and have the discipline to execute. So I'm Alexis Jimenez, and we'll see you in the next episode. Until next time.